to MMA Fra Diavolo. I am here to talk about Ethyn Ewing taking on Malcolm Wellmaker. I know this fight's happening in a matter of hours, but I figured I'd cover it for you. I'm really just here to talk about Ethyn Ewing, basically, but I'll give you my prediction here at the top. I'm going with Malcolm Wellmaker, and I'm going to go with him winning by knockout. Why? For all that shit I said about when he was fighting Cody Haddon, and I picked him to win by knockout in that fight as well. Because Ethyn Ewing, even though he doesn't have the same exact profile as Cody Haddon, they're similar. Each guy looks tough as fuck, has a lot of skill, and has nothing but forgivable losses. Ethyn Ewing's got 2 losses. They're in his first 2 fights, which right away, even if they were to me, they'd be forgivable losses. But these are to good fighters. I haven't seen the loss to Edwin Cooper, but it's a decision in the LFA. They got everything but the fucking prelims. But that's a very forgivable loss. That guy's a good fighter. And this guy, Roberto Hernandez, laced up his leg. I was able to see that one, and he heel hooked him. First, he went for a fucking knee bar and whatever, but laced up his leg and ended up getting him. Malcolm Wellmaker, I'm sure, is working on all kinds of skills, but I don't think he's able to plug himself into that loss. And every other fight after that has been a victory. He's got a ton of momentum. I think I've seen all of these aside from maybe the first 2 wins here. But he gets wins down the stretch. He's won by decision. He's got 1 win by submission, which was nice. He laced up that Darce choke over this guy, Ulysses Molina, very quickly. He also jumped a guillotine on one of these other guys here. I think maybe Brandon Gonzalez. But he's got some instincts there. But mainly what I've seen from him is as a striker, and he's a good striker. He's very measured. He's got a good jab, really good jab. He can stick his fingers out a little bit, which could be troublesome, as we've seen. But he's got a really good kickboxing game. I think he's really sharp. He fights behind the jab well, will double up, and he's going to need to work a lot of feints and double jabs and all kinds of shit, trying to navigate the reach advantage of Malcolm Wellmaker. I think he's got 2 or 3 inches of height and 2 or 3 inches of reach, Malcolm. And Malcolm's comfortable on the back foot, and he's got dangerous power in both hands. Really sharp hooks. So that's why I'm picking him to win. But this guy looks really tough, Ethyn Ewing. He was dropped once, I think, against the guy Brandon Gonzalez. Brandon Gonzalez dropped him once. But it was, halfway there. It wasn't the most concussive dropping. But he roughed up Brandon. He dropped him and beat him up, and it was a real war. And that was a great showcase of Ethyn Ewing's traits. And he seems to have a fucking ton of them. And traits get you late finishes. Like he got that nice second round submission, but also a nice second round TKO over Parkham, that guy. And round 3 over Brandon Carrillo. These are fights that are available. I believe I've seen all of these fights, even though I've forgotten their fucking names. But he's definitely got good power, got a nice straight right hand finish, I believe. Definitely against Billy Brandon, his last one. And also, I believe, against Anthony Parkham. But yeah, the guy's got decent pop at his punches. I don't think it comes anywhere close to Malcolm Wellmaker's, don't get me wrong. But he's tough as all fuck, and he seems to have a lot of grit. And also, despite him taking the fight on short notice, he fought a week ago against Billy Brand. And by the way, this fight is set at featherweight instead of bantamweight. So my point is, I have to pick Malcolm Wellmaker because there's all this upside and proven upside because he's beaten the likes of Chris Moutinho and Cameron Simon. But there's nothing but upside here with Ethyn Ewing as well. Again, his first 2 losses, very forgivable no matter who they're to, but they're to good fighters. The one I've seen is in a very forgivable way, and the guy has kicked everyone's ass since then, and he's looked really sharp. He's up against it physically against Malcolm Wellmaker. Like I said, height and reach and whatever, and I think that's something Malcolm Wellmaker can use well. And I can't pick him to beat Malcolm just because Malcolm hasn't been beaten himself. He's had some close fights, but he's answered every question. He's been deep in fights. And again, when the fights are really short, his opponent's concussed on the ground. He's got that extra bit of power. And Malcolm Wellmaker, of course, has quit pipe fitting, fucking grueling work, some Darren Elkin shit, and now he's focused full time on fighting. So I'm expecting more from him. He's got a ton of promise. He trains with a better camp. I have to go with Malcolm Wellmaker. Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout is the pick, and it is not the bet. Minus 185 for knockout. That's probably most likely. It is my pick, but it's no guarantee with this guy. I'm probably not going to go reaching for anything, any props, not with any serious money. But Ethyn Ewing, I think for him, decision would probably be most likely, beating Malcolm Wellmaker. But most of his wins come by TKO. And as you see here, plus 600 is the line for that. I don't know. I think circumstances don't favor him, so him winning down the stretch with anything isn't as likely, and him overcoming Malcolm physically from the get go. I've got that going the opposite way. When they're both sharp, I think Malcolm Wellmaker stands to gain more from all that with his physical advantages. So I've got him closing the show like that. I doubt I'll bet on anything, nothing serious anyway. But Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout is the pick.